Hello everyone. Today we're going to learn how to play Silica as an effective alien commander. We're going to go through some of the basics, and of course I'm going to put down some timestamp for you to skip ahead in the video if you want to skip some parts of it. But we're going to go through some of the alien units, building, some tips and tricks, and how you generally play them in the early game, and try to like some late game executes. Alright, so we're back on this testing world. So one of the most important things as an alien commander is having access to your nest. Your nest is your access to your build menu, and that's where you can build like the biocaches here, what is the cortex, your research as well, and that's one of the reasons why you build nests in general, because you want to have access to the build menu a little bit easier. But we're just gonna, here we have the biocaches. This is your main building to get resources. It's the same thing as a refinery for the humans. The only difference is that the biocache doesn't, you don't get a free shrimp. You don't get these shrimps for free. You gotta make them by yourself. And that's where you have the lesser spawning system over here. So in Silica, as aliens, you have two group of units. You have the lesser spawning cyst, and you have the greatest spawning cyst. And greatest spawning cyst is where you get the more powerful units in general. But the lesser spawning cysts are also useful for just cannon fodder and your economy units, which is, let's see, the shrimps over here. So you do get the crab, the horn crab, and the impaler. So crab is basically your cannon fodder, same as the horn crab, more expensive, a little bit more damage. Hard to find a useful application for horn crabs because they cost more, takes longer to produce, and are a little bit slower. But they can deal a little bit damage against harvester. And then we do have impalers, great against light vehicles, great damage in general. You won't be taking on tanks with impalers, so that's that. They're great for like early game units and defense. And if you have a group of players taking for like 4 impalers and sniping the harvesters, that can be really effective as well. Then you have the great spawning cyst. That's where you have like the hunter, great for defense, great early game units, the best actually. Behemoth, it's a slightly worse version of the Scorpion basically. Doesn't have good range damage, decent melee attack, very slow, and it's very easy to like hit it like at the back. So I would always prefer going for Scorpions because they are a little bit smaller, on the smaller side. They have great damage as well, so, and great melee attack. So this is your bread and butter compared to like any of the other units. And then we have the Goliath. Goliath are interesting. They are somewhat tanky, but they're too slow and they're too big. So what's gonna happen are like, these aren't your frontline units. They are your nuking units. You try to take them on a flank route and try to like attack as much as possible. Because at most you'll get like one building, and barely, if they have hover tanks and railgun tanks, etc. Anything that can hit them hard will hit them hard. I think, and then we have the cortex as well. So the cortex is very necessary to build if you want to have any of these units over here, and if you want to build the greatest spawn assist. So that's a quick overview of the units actually. There isn't too much like to look at. It's like the shrimps over here need access to a biocache to even deposit, and you need to build shrimps from the spawn cyst. So that's why you sometimes see spawn cysts on the front lines around the map, just building shrimps, because these are very slow on land, like in generally, but like they mine resources very fast. So you want to build small spawning cysts around the map, producing shrimps for you. Yeah, that's about it. So we're gonna go back over to like slow Decent build order. It's nothing too complicated. It's very easy to like execute it. You get eco, you get units very fast. Alright, so we're gonna steer Naraka and just gonna do a build order here. So one of the most important things as alien is you want to always expand with nodes. And let's see, node expand all the time. Let's try to separate all of these here. And let's get to our biocache. So we need to build a biocache here, just to get the early resources from the shrimps. And that's how we unlock everything else. Right now we can't really build anything else unless we build biocache. So we're just gonna constantly expand, and explore as well. So you just click on one of the units, zoom in, and right click on the minimap. Tell them where to go. And once this biocache is done, one spawning assist is always okay here. You can always do two, but I prefer just having one. So we're gonna try to get on this cliff with the nodes. We want to get tech as well as soon as possible. Try to get somewhere cheeky. So we have some imperials here. Hunters always here, should always be in base to defend. Expand like that. Constantly want to try to like push out your nodes, get to the human bases as soon as possible, and find them. So we found a second biocache and biotics. Put down a less spawn assist so we can produce more shrimps. More shrimps here. And we just want to wait for research to be done so we can get that going. One more here. Let's push out this impalers over here, and then we got the impaler here defending against quad rushes. That's what we want. Like that. I actually want to explore a little bit up there as well. So you always want to constantly look at the map, see which building is completed. So we got tech done here. We don't have money to upgrade it just yet. I think. Wait, mushrooms. Are they okay? Oh, okay. So one of the things that we have to look out for is that these shrimps can get stuck here if we don't build the biocache fast enough, and that's why we're lacking money a little bit. Just want to have that defend, make shrimps here, and we got one biocache around here. Hunter here. I think there's another resource deposit right in this corner here. So we got this one here, producing shrimps. Don't want to put too many shrimps in one place here in the queue. That's always a bad habit because they Units in the queue aren't really doing anything. You'd rather want to spend that money right now than later. So this is almost done here. Yeah. So nodes take around 6 seconds to complete. And you constantly want to go around expanding. And you don't want to sit on one node all the time, because that's kind of wasting your time a little bit. So we got 3000 here. We want to do research. 5 minutes. It's alright on the large map. We haven't found them yet. We're gonna find them fairly soon, I believe. We can produce more shrimps here. So research is halfway. And now we're kind of floating a little bit of resources, so we can put down another less spawning cyst, so we can make more shrimps. And by doing that, it's fine that you lose a little bit of, like, even if humans are aggroing and harassing you, you get so much income that it doesn't really matter to you. Sure, they can harass this one over here, but we still have like 3 other nodes that we're producing it from. And now we have Tech 1, I believe. Yeah, Tech 1. We can make some impalers here just for extra defense if we need to do that. Since they're quite good against quad rushers, anything like that. So we constantly want to node expand, and always want to do that. So we see them down bottom right, probably. So probably around here, if the scouts went up here. And that's where we kind of want to node. Halfway, nice. Want to make more shrimps there. 10 shrimps is a really good number. If you don't want to exhaust one spot for too much, one is a decent number. And then when we got research for T2, we want to put down a great spawn assist. Usually one close to the main and one on the front line somewhere. Mostly the main you want to have that just for protection. And you want to get some hunter scorpions to defend against TPs. So we got another one up here. We want to produce some shrimps. Just gonna keep up 10 here, so I don't have to think about it later. There you go. Let's make another one here. Node. Yeah, so we basically all found them, and then in a pretty bad spot. So we can basically node all the way to the city here, getting spawn assist, and we want to like produce scorpions, go live before they get any hover tanks, and that's how you basically win this. And if it doesn't work out, you want to try to node around them, around the cliffs. Maybe try to get something up here, but that's gonna take a long time, and that's why we're already doing it. Just preparing for the future, really. So we got great spawnings. Want to make some of that. Omega 4. I want to make defensive hunter. A couple of them doesn't really hurt. And then one of those. We want to keep going up here as much as we can. And then we got some back eco over here. And usually our eco will be in a pretty good spot. And let's see if we can get something more vision around here. AI humans aren't gonna harass you a whole lot, but it's a whole different story once you get to like multiplayer. So you definitely want to prepare for like some hunters early game against people TPing, because once you TP and get a good foothold, they can destroy your tempos really, really hard. It's all about having a tempo, keeping it. Alien is always gonna have the tempo. So this is a point where I might just want to put it down a nest around here, so I can have an easier time microing. Yeah, kind of deselect quite often. Let's see, they were around here. Alright, we're gonna make more shrimps over here. 10 is well enough for that one spot. We want to keep noding up here. So we've got another small spawn assists, produce more shrimps and buy a cash down. And we don't really think about the shrimps anymore. The shrimps usually should, in most cases, you just go to the nearest bionics. So once you put down a spawn assist, you won't really have to think about it. So this is a decent spot to put down some early graded spawners. And now usually we should have the eco to even support all of them producing something. And we got some scorpions, so we want to send them out as soon as we can. Early game, the humans should only have light vehicles, and the scorpions counter light vehicles very, very hard. And we want to get to the point where they can't get any hover tanks. Hover tanks do counter, mass hover tank counters scorpions. So we just want to make a nest over there to get to make it a little bit easier for us to micro. Another small assist, spawn assist. And we're gonna keep going around here. So up here it isn't that important that we have doing good noding up here, because that's not the most important part. The most important part is getting to the human base as soon as we can. I mean, if you have decent players, they can try to harass by their own as well. We're just gonna go around here, around the rocks. Goliath. Scorpions, Goliath. That's your main armor right there. And depending on the distance, you should always win. If you get close enough. but you get a little bit too far, you're just gonna lose in late game, because the aliens unfortunately doesn't really have good late game options against mass hover tanks, and it can get very difficult for them. There you go, some shrimps. We want to get the eco up here as well. We can make biocache here, shrimps. Maybe gray spawners, just for defense. Nest here to make it easy for us to micro. There we go. So they got some quads out, and that's totally fine. We're totally gonna ignore the quads. Usually quads can't really do anything to scorpions. So we got first Goliath and first Scorpion. We're gonna go rush for attack as soon as possible. We're gonna send some of these over here. Run here. Couple of Scorpions. Our economy is such a great shape, so we can afford to make even more great spawners. Alright, we got more Scorpions, want to send them out. They got the light armor card, that's not going to do anything towards that either. And we got some Scorpions just hanging back in base, defending. Gonna send one Scorpion around here to defend. And if they manage to defend this push, we're gonna try to node around and try to get some great spawners up on the hill. And that's basically your build order for this patch. Goliath, go in. We got 3 light quads here, not gonna do anything against this. Hopefully not. Make more Scorpions. Alright, we are lacking a little bit of eco right now. Nice, they dealt with them quite well. We're gonna go for them as well. They got some commandos, that's fine. Okay, nice one. We're almost at their HQ. And that should be pretty much GG. And this works against human commanders as well. You might face a little bit more threats, and you might get more delayed, and that's fine. You just have to build more impalers for defense, a little bit more hunters, but the build is exactly the same. There's almost no variations to the build order. Alright, so we got getting heavy factory almost. So I'm gonna move that over there. Awesome. We want to have some great spawn assist over here as well, just for extra flanking. Because the scorpions, everything else here, everything in the old alien roster moves really slowly. So you want to make this as close as possible without getting them killed. But yeah, that's basically it. Easy game, I guess the AI. Quick guide on how to build the build order as well. It varies a little bit from game to game. Depending on where you spawn, you might get the barracks a little bit farther away than you want them to be. This is one of the okay spawn. It could have been better. Could have been way better. But other than that, it's like there's no variations at all. You want to get tech as soon as possible, and by minute 10 you should have at least tier 3, tier 4 to get the Goliaths, to get Scorpions. You want to get everything here before they can get the hover tanks. And this is how you get the good swarm out of the game. So we got Goliaths here just smashing the buildings. Heavy quads and anything light vehicles can't handle Scorpions. Scorpions are really strong against light vehicles. Once you get to hover tanks, it's gonna get way complicated. Hover tanks, railguns, and siege tank, and that's gonna get way complicated. And that's where you might need to get cannon fodder like crabs and just more Scorpions. It gets very hard after that. That's one. Now we want to get that last building as well. That's right. That's game. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope this guide helped you a little bit at least, and I hope you guys win your Alien Comic games at least. Anyway, thank you. Bye bye.